Okay, February. We all know what it means on the calendar. It's traditionally African American History Month. You see the banners, the corporate posts. But we've got a report here that, well, it argues this entire model is obsolete, that it needs a radical update.
The text is called The Case for the Transition from African American History Month to FBA History Recognition Month. Okay. And, the argument isn't just about changing a name. It's a full structural overhaul.
So what are they proposing?
They're arguing for moving the whole thing from February to August and shifting the focus from, say, cultural celebration to economic redress.
Okay, let's unpack that. The terminology is really specific here. FBA, for anyone listening who hasn't heard that before, what does it mean?
Right. So FBA stands for Foundational Black Americans.
Okay.
The source defines this as the direct descendants of people who were enslaved right here in the United States.
Yeah.
And that distinction they make is crucial to their entire framework.
So they're separating the specific lineage from, say, voluntary immigrants, or even just the broader black category.
Exactly. The report talks about what it calls minority lumping.
Minority lumping.
Yeah. The idea that grouping FBAs with other minorities, people who might have come here voluntarily seeking the American dream, it just obscures the specific generational trauma of chattel slavery and Jim Crow.
I see. And the source has a theory for this, right?
It does. It introduces something called racial triangulation. The argument is that other minority groups are sometimes positioned as model minorities.
To what end?
Sort of buffer white supremacy. The report claims this creates something called colonized loyalty, where these other groups might distance themselves from FBA struggles to, align with the status quo.
So the broad Black history umbrella ends up letting people with no lineage-based claim to U.S. reparations benefit from resources meant for that foundational group.
That's the core of the argument.
And speaking of benefiting, the report really goes after corporate America, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It argues the whole month has just become a branding opportunity, a lot of what it calls performative activism.
The social media posts, the buzzwords, but without any real substance.
Right. And the phrase it uses is dark irony. The evidence they bring up is, frankly, startling. They point to companies that celebrate the month today, but historically profited directly from slavery.
Yeah, I saw the notes on J.P. Morgan Chase. That was eye-opening. Its predecessor banks took enslaved people as collateral?
Around 13,000 people, according to the source. Mm-hmm. And they would seize them if the loans defaulted.
Wow.
Then you have insurance giants like New York Life and Aetna. They apparently sold insurance policies on the lives of enslaved people.
But not to protect the people.
No, of course not. It was to protect the enslavers' investment in their property.
Even Brooks Brothers is on the list.
Right, for outfitting enslaved people in high-end clothing, which enslavers then used as rewards for productivity.
So the takeaway is that these companies are turning lineage trauma into a marketing cycle. They get the PR in February without ever offering any real restitution.
Precisely. Which brings us to their proposed solution.
Moving the whole thing to August. Why August?
It's about shifting the narrative from paternalism to agency. The source argues February is tied to Abraham Lincoln's birthday, which they frame as white paternalism. August, on the other hand, is cited as the month of Black uprising.
And the history seems to support that. You have the Haitian Revolution that started in August 1791.
Nat Turner's Rebellion, August 1831.
The Watts Rebellion in 65.
And more recently, the Ferguson Uprising in 2014. And, of course, the whole origin of Black August after George Jackson's death in 1971.
So the idea is to align the commemoration with a legacy of active resistance, not just survival.
Exactly.
So if this all happened, what's the end goal here? What does this mean for you, the listener?
The goal is explicitly material. The report basically demands a shift from, say, I have a dream symbolism to where is my check? Materialism.
Less about celebration, more about legislation.
That's a good way to put it. This new month would focus on very specific things. Lineage, delineation, so we know exactly who is FBA, then tax-exempt status, and finally, reparations.
So it's about weaponizing history for specific, tangible outcomes.
Precisely. And that really leads to the most critical question the source leaves us with.
Which is?
If history is celebrated without a concrete demand for justice and restitution, does it just end up stabilizing the very system that caused all the harm in the first place?
That's definitely something to sit with. Thanks for this deep dive.